Her name was Yasmin, and she was a dancer. Truly beautiful, Yasmin. And though the wise men say beauty is only skin deep, her skin must have been very thick, because everywhere that anyone could look, she looked real good. Well, one day, Suleiman was walking through the marketplace there, looking for new things to add to his coffee shop, and he saw a beautiful silver tea service and the urns that went with it and all the cups. And he bought them for a very good price and brought them back to his stall and began to clean them. When he picked up one particularly very dirty cup and began to polish it, it started to vibrate in his hand. And then, when he looked inside of it, there was a blue mist which turned purple and then turned red and began to swirl in the cup, and it rose out of the cup higher and higher and higher and split into two pillars. And between those two pillars formed two large oaken doors. And the doors swung open and out stepped the genie. A genie of well over 20 feet tall, bright blue, wearing a green turban. And he put his hands on his hips and laughed. Ha ha ha! You don't know how good it feels to be out of that teacup. I've been in that teacup for 4,000 years. And now, since you've been generous enough to let me out, I will grant you 3 wishes. But hurry, little man. 4,000 years is a lot of lost time. There are a few young genies I'd like to go see about myself. Well, Suleiman had everything that he desired. He had a successful business. He wasn't greedy for money or possessions. And then he thought of Yasmin, beautiful Yasmin. He said, well, I'm very much in love with the woman, but I'm afraid to go and ask her to marry me because she's beautiful. And as you can see, I'm not very tall, neither am I strong or wise, and I'm not good looking at all. I'm short, and I have a hump on my back, and my nose hooks over and touches my chin. But if you could make me tall and dashing and handsome, I'd really appreciate that. And the genie looked at him and said, is that all you want? That's so simple, no problem. He snapped his fingers, and there Suleiman stood. Now he was 6'5", rippling with muscles, dark and tall and handsome, and his nose no longer hooked over and touched his chin. And the genie said, just for a little something extra, I'll throw in a horse and a saddle, and you'll like it, a red saddle with silver. It'll be good, because I'm in a hurry. I have things to do. And he accepted. He said, my second wish, just so that we can live like I'd like to keep her, just a little treasure. I don't want a lot. And the genie said, no problem, and he produced saddlebags which he put on the horse, which were full of gold and silver and jewels of various and assorted kinds. And Suleiman, now tall and strong and handsome and dashing, leaped into the saddle and rode from one end of the souk to the other. And when he got to the end of the souk where Yasmin was dancing, he jumped from his horse, swept her up in his arms and said, I love you, my darling. Marry me. And she pushed him away. Stranger, truly you are handsome, but I'll marry you not, for I love another. He's nowhere near as tall and handsome and dashing as you are, but he has a good heart, and he's a friend to all the world. I love Suleiman, the coffee stand. Well, he was crushed. There he was, 6 feet tall, rippling with muscles, dashing any woman with, and the woman he wanted more than he wanted his own life didn't want him. Well, he walked back with the horse, and he sat down in front of the genie and he cried bitter tears. And the genie said, well, don't cry. I mean, you've gotten what you want. You've gotten the girl. I said, I didn't get the girl. She didn't want me. What do you mean she didn't want you? Look at you. You're beautiful. If I was a girl, I'd want you. I said, no, that's not the problem. She preferred me as I was before. And the genie said, I know. You want to go back to the way you were. What a waste of 3 wishes. You didn't want to be king. You didn't want to run the world. You just wanted to... Never mind. I'll fix it. And he snapped his fingers. And there was Suleiman as he was before. Short. Not especially good looking. Definitely not brave. And his nose once again hooked over and touched his chin. But the genie left him the horse and the jewels just as a kind of a going away gift. Whereupon he walked back into the door, he closed it, and everything folded up and went off into nothing. Well, Suleiman, wanting to go back to his love, he stacked up a few chairs and he climbed up on top of the horse and he hugged the horse's neck as tight as he could as it flew back down through the marketplace, back through the souk, back to Yasmin. And he fell from the horse and he ran to her and he grabbed the hem of her skirt. He said, I love you. Will you marry me? And she picked him up and she hugged him and she kissed him and she said, yes, I've been waiting long years for you to ask me that question. And they were married that very day, and all the merchants contributed to the marriage. Why, they brought the best of fruit and the best of drink and the best of carpets for the guests to sit on. And they brought in the best of all musicians. And he played his flute. And he played, and he played, and he played, and he played, and he would probably still be playing today. But he broke his flute playing it so hard. And that's my story of love and fulfillment. My story of Yasmin and Suleiman. I'd like to thank you for your kind time.